All right, we're in the garage today. Got a new arcade just brought home, new project. We'll find out. It was reportedly working, but quote unquote has issues. But either way, the price was stupid low. $75 for this. A Cruis'n World cabinet, complete sit down. I've got it taken apart, just literally got it home, haven't turned it on, haven't really done much of anything, but thought we'd do a quick inspection of it, get an idea of what kind of work I've got myself into. But again, $75, I mean, pretty much anything could be wrong with this and it'd still be a great deal. So let's check it out. All right, so we'll start at the front here. Right off the bat, I recognize this. This is a local company out of Springfield, Missouri. I bought this from a couple out in the middle of nowhere in Missouri at a farm. Original marquee, though I'm gonna replace this. I'll try to clean it up, avoid having to replace it, but it's hard to see in the lighting, but it's very discolored after many years of having that traditional bulb back there. It heats them up and it discolors and yellows these marquees. So no cracks or anything. Well, I take that back. It looks like, yeah, we got a crack there. So, okay, that just rules it out. I'm gonna replace that marquee. So that's one thing to note. Somebody had already taken a crack at updating this into an LCD, and I say update, upgrade, whatever. Some people just think it's absolutely blasphemy. I don't care, whatever gets you playing the games. But this is probably one of the shoddiest install jobs I've ever seen in my entire life. So for their bezel, it's just black electrical tape that they've put around the front. They've put an own, hard to see, there we go, an own brand monitor, which is, like Walmart's name brand, but honestly it's some of the worst quality monitors you could possibly ever use. They're cheap, but just because they're cheap doesn't mean they're worthwhile. So I'm going to replace that for sure. And the install job they did on, like I said, it's terrible. Like the electrical tape bezel. But here's the thing that drove me nuts when I was looking at it. So for the most part, the side art looks really good, for its age. Got a couple scuffs and everything. Nothing too crazy, but I was like, what in the world? Why do we have these 3 screws? Because these are your traditional CRT monitor bracket holding holes here and here. So I'm used to that, but these, I'm like, I know that's not supposed to be there. So I went in the back and started looking in here, and I was like, oh, okay, number one, they've clearly removed the tube itself. They left the chassis and the bracket, but they installed their LCD by shoving basically a 2x4 in between and screwing it to the sides of the cabinet. Definitely not how I would recommend doing it, or I would have done it. But yeah, I guess they tried the best MacGyver they could, and I can see from the back here they even left the original CRT monitor shroud in there. Everything in here, it's dirty, dusty, definitely needs cleaned up. Lots and lots of spider webs everywhere. You can definitely see it there for sure. But for the most part, I mean, the cabinet itself is clean. Hey, there's Spider. That guy better be frozen and dead. I'm not a big fan of brown recluses, but yeah, lots of cobwebs and dirt and grime to clean out of here. So this ginormous, massive cabling, I was like, what is that? Is that part of the extension power cable that they've done? Nope. It's literally just an absurdly long VGA cable that literally is going nowhere. It's not even plugged into anything. Like, they already have a secondary smaller VGA cable going from the adapter board to the back of the monitor, but for whatever reason they thought they needed one that was 100 miles long, and then decided, oh, we'll go ahead and zip tie it to the power harness and everything, but we won't use it. Coming out of the back is clearly not part of the stock power cord. So, and we got like a surge protector back here. So they've done some, I don't know, MacGyver / engineering. I hesitate to call it MacGyver because MacGyver was actually pretty talented, but some really poor engineering to get this, LCD monitor to be connected to the standard power. So I'm gonna have to figure that out. Board itself, the main game board is behind this bracket, which is cool. A lot of times this is missing, keeps things protected. This is your power driver board for your steering control so you can have your force feedback. So that's good. Seat itself, as all Cruis'n cabinets, comes apart, which is great. But yeah, works but has issues. $75. But overall, like I said, cabinet-wise, it's more dirty than anything. There's, you know, scuffs and scrapes and things, but nothing too crazy. I'm gonna replace the T-molding and clean it up and see what other stuff I can salvage. But for the most part, little things like, you know, seat decals and everything are still there. So kind of impressed. One thing, when I was taking off the back, I'll tell people, the front, they'd already drilled out the holes. So this is your back piece, goes right there. So somebody didn't know where the keys were, so they went ahead and drilled out the locks. I'll tell you this as a tip, so you don't have to do this. Most of the time, I'd say 85% of the time, 90% sometimes, I have success with literally just getting a small flathead screwdriver, putting in the key, and turning it, opening it without a key. That way I don't have to drill out the locks. But also additionally, once that person drilled out this lock, if they would have just paid attention, they would have saw this key hanging there, which would have opened the bottom as well as the back portion. In fact, funny story, upon opening the bottom of the coin door, I see right here, Cruis'n World Fuddruckers, which means this was at my local Fuddruckers in Springfield, Missouri. And I can tell you for a fact, I have played this machine at some point in my life because I remember it being at Fuddruckers and I remember playing it. So kind of love that it's went full circle and now it's at home. But yeah, no stash full of quarters, but I wouldn't expect it to, you know, with it being privately owned for many years. Let's see what we got here on the coin, see if we can focus. So yeah, it's seen some plays over the day, so definitely some good use. The folks that sold it to me, they put it on Facebook Marketplace, like I said, $75 again, steal of a deal. And when I was picking it up, they said, yeah, we had about 60 people message us asking if it was available, and I was like, I bet you did. So fortunately, lucked out for me. Overall, like I said, it's dirty, but it's complete. It's $75, and I'm going to plug it in, and we'll see if this bad boy actually even turns on. All right, moment of truth. Like I said, I have zero expectations that this thing will actually power up, but we'll find out. Nope. 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 Let's turn on up here. Anything up there? Oh, okay. That was a very loud pop. Let's go around to the front and see if we have any life. Well, we have a single LED. That's progress. I've got some volume. Definitely don't have a marquee light. Oh, I take it back. We have another working. So we got two lights. Nothing on the monitor, but then again, they also had the super handy dandy TV remote Velcro to the back of the machine. So see if I didn't even check to see if this has batteries. Oh wait, no, there we go. So we got power. All right, it says push gas pedal to the max and hit test. Max down there. Test. Push brake down. So we're calibrating everything. And I can tell you right now that volume is crazy loud. So this is gonna drive me crazy. I'm not sure which is up or down, but it's going through the ROM check, and I can already tell the colors are off, but that might just be a clamp setting on the converter board. Picture is way off center. Okay, so holy crap. They weren't kidding. It works so far. I mean, the board works, so that's a good sign. Yeah, let's get that volume to go down. All right, so. Holy crap. $75 and it works. Let's see, can we do a credit? Okay, start. Steering's working, the best I can tell anyway. Gas pedal's working. And we'll do automatic first just to test to see if that works.
Ready, set, go!
All right, gas works, brake works, steering's working, buttons, camera 1, camera 2, camera 3. All right, so our controls are working. Change the radio. Not feeling much in the force feedback though, so I may have to diagnose that. So spent the afternoon tinkering on this. First thing I did, got rid of that old black T-molding. I had some red left over from a previous project laying over, so I used it. Personally, if I were to buy T-molding for this, I'd probably went with blue or purple or something like that, but you know, the red looks nice. I got the first layer of grime and dirt and crud and all that stuff wiped off and cleaned off of this machine. It's by no means spotless yet, but it's a million times cleaner than it was. Like I said, red T-molding doesn't look bad. It's certainly an improvement over the stock black. Got rid of that OWN monitor. This is a ViewSonic 32-inch LED. It's got 75 hertz refresh rate, 1 millisecond response time. Got all sorts of bells and whistles that are overkill for this. Good thing about these monitors is they will fit in most of these midway sit-down arcade cabinets, and basically once you put it in 4:3 aspect ratio, you've got a 25-inch 4:3 aspect ratio LCD monitor. So you know, you still have the same size and shape that you would with the CRT. If you want, you can stretch it and you can go 16:9, fill out the spot, and as you can see, it's in there from side to side. There's very little room for it to move, so it is a very, very tight fit, very snug and everything, but looks good. If you want to, like I said, stretch to widescreen, go 16:9. You can have your Cruis'n girls have a really thick back end if that's kind of your thing, but put a new LED bulb back there. Already have the replacement marquee on order. As you can see down here at the bottom, you can really see how yellowed it is over years of abuse, because here's how bright the color should be down here, and then this is what it looks like. But overall, looking good. Got LEDs placed in my buttons so everything lights up. Radio button, it's never wired to light up. It's always kind of just been dull like that. I guess they thought people didn't need a light for the radio button, and they thought lights were good for everything else. Other observations, the seat thankfully doesn't wobble back and forth. A lot of these midway racing cabinets are prone to having a spring break in it, and then the seat no longer locks. So once you get in it, you push a little bit and it'll start sliding forward and backwards. Luckily, that's not an issue. And around back, I also did a lot of cleanup job, cobwebs, grime, and all that kind of stuff, but also reversed all the hack job they did with the wiring. I put a brand new power supply in it. The person that I was buying this machine from said it reset all the time. Issues with getting steady voltage to the system. So we've got a brand new power supply on there. Like I said, unscrewed up all the wiring they had. Now everything powers on with the top switch on the top of the arcade, including the monitor. The monitor is mounted using the stupid 2x4 method that they'd already used, just because, I mean, they already put the holes in the cabinet, so why not? Found out what was wrong with my force feedback. Basically, it was a blown transistor. Replaced the transistor, now it's working. New CMOS battery in the chip there, so now it saves all the high scores and the racing times and everything. So yeah, got a few things I want to maybe tidy up on. Still haven't decided if I want to replace the side art. To me, it's decent enough. I mean, I'm a perfectionist and I would love it to be perfect, but in reality, a lot of these arcade games don't hold very good value. So I mean, if I put $180 side art on there, I'm really not increasing the value on anything. Gonna still replace the locks, got those on order. I might actually put some diamond plate down here at the floor, get rid of this old crusty floor matting that's always been there. Steering wheel, it's fine. I do want to replace the numbers on here. They're worn off over years. The plate itself is fine, it's not really bad, but I can repaint that and re-decal that. But overall, $75. I think I got $150 total in parts that I've used for this, just to kind of spruce it up to where it is. New marquee is like $15, so I'm sitting pretty good. Also been working on cleaning up the glass. As you remember, it was covered in the black electrical tape, so it's been a lot of scrub daddying with the goo gone and lots of coats of Windex to get that all cleaned off. But still need to make a bezel for this to get rid of the black area. Unfortunately, since they hacked up the old existing bezel, I cannot use that. I've got a couple of Midway 25-inch bezels, but they are not for this cabinet. They are for your standard like fighting style, and those bezels are actually shorter as far as width than the ones that are come in these driving cabinets. So I'll just get some black poster board and put it around the edges, but thankfully the 32-inch monitor takes up a lot of the dead space. $75 investment, and just using some parts, pieces, and elbow grease that I've got around the house. Pretty good.